We're road tripping Eastern Europe for 30 days, driving over 4,000 miles to see the best the Balkans has to offer. So, let's get on with today's video. We're officially in Serbia after sleeping on some random road last night. This was our view though this morning, waking up, which is heavy. And we're now heading into the local city or town, don't know what it's called, to go to like a supermarket. Jack's just absolutely nearly killed us in this little town. He's driven on the wrong side of the road twice now on this trip, and just then he went round the roundabout the wrong way and I had to slam on as I shouted him, and the car in front started laughing at us as we had to reverse backwards out of the roundabout to then go the right way.
Sometimes you gotta live life on the edge.
I'm not sure that's how that works. Like, we're currently on our way to this and we're just driving down one of the most incredible roads ever. It's literally going through the mountains. There's tunnel after tunnel.
Wow.
The actual mountain itself. Jack has brought us to this, didn't tell us what we were doing, just drove here and pulled up at a concentration camp. So that's what we're doing now. We're doing all like the morbid stuff with Jack. We're doing a concentration camp and then we're doing a tower full of skulls somewhere else in the city. Not sure how much I'm going to be able to film here, so I've got you on the GoPro and we'll just see if I can get bits and do a voiceover. On the 6th of April 1941, Axis forces invaded the then Yugoslavia, demolishing their defences, and by the 12th of April, Belgrade had fell and Yugoslavia succumbed to occupation. This allowed the Nazis to set up Nis as a transit camp, but with resistance growing, this quickly became a concentration camp for political prisoners, Jews and Roma. Over the next 3 years, up to 35,000 people would be brutally imprisoned within the camp and subjected to inhumane conditions, usually forced to work 12 hours a day on as little as 1,300 calories while sleeping in cramped conditions on nothing but hay. These torturous living conditions, along with executions, led to around 10,000 people dying inside the camp, with many more dying in other camps after being transferred. It's always disturbing when you come to places like this, just how evil humanity can be. One of the mad things is that there's a school right across from the concentration camp. They must go there on like school lessons all the time, like a little school trip in history lessons, but it's also a little bit dark, isn't it, to have a school right next to a concentration camp. Now we're going to the Skull Tower, which is a tower full of skulls, and it dates back to the 19th century, I think. The first Serbian uprising against Ottoman rule erupted in 1804 after a local revolt. Fast forward 5 years to 1809, thousands of people had been killed to war, and the Serbian commander Stefan Sindelik and his army found themselves surrounded at Cigar Hill. Having killed hundreds of Ottomans, Stefan realised the Ottoman army and its superior number was about to overrun his army. Knowing that capture meant torture, slavery and execution, Stefan shot a barrel of gunpowder, which started a chain reaction of explosions among all the gunpowder supplies at the encampment. This led to the deaths of all the Serbian and Ottoman soldiers on the battlefield. So after this, when all the Serbian freedom fighters were dead and a lot of the Ottoman soldiers, the Ottoman Emperor ordered this skull tower to be made with all the skulls of the Serbian soldiers. Originally, it had 952 skulls encased in this tower behind me, but over time it's deteriorated. A lot of the skulls have gone missing and now only around 50 remain. Originally, the Ottomans had it made to terrify the Serbians into obedience, but instead it kind of instilled a great honour in the Serbians as monuments of freedom, because it represented the freedom fighters giving up their lives rather than going into Turkish slavery if they were captured. Apparently that's his skull. They don't know for sure by the sounds of it. Jack's just made a good point though. There's no real way of knowing that he shot it and didn't just ignite it. On Wikipedia it says he just ignited the gunpowder, but in this museum over here it says he shot it, but everyone who was there would have been killed. So there's no way of really knowing how he ignited it, but he did, and it blew everyone up. I think we've seen everything we want to see in this, so I think the plan now is we're going to head up towards Belgrade. If we find anything along the way, we'll stop. But apart from that, I'm not too sure. We have to eat some dinner because we haven't had anything yet, and then find something to do. We took a detour on the way to Belgrade and we're staying at a campsite at a national park. And look at the view we've got whilst driving through these mountains and along this lake. And we're about to come across a castle. Look, we brought all the way from America the American football. So we finally get to play some catch. The campsite we're staying at tonight is called the Aston campsite, and Milena, the woman who must own it, is so nice. She's quite funny as well. She came over and brought us lemonade, which is like a lemongrass and mint lemonade, and it's actually quite nice. The campsite is in the Jeddah National Park. I probably butchered that, but it looks like an amazing national park, but it is getting dark now, so you're not going to see anything until tomorrow. And for the first time this trip, we're cooking outside, which is lovely, because it gets a bit toasty in the camper van when you've got like the burners on. Even with the windows open, it doesn't really ventilate the heat very well, with it being summer as well.
They're all like Gordon Ramsay, like.
I thought you were purposely making yourself look like an idiot. This is our first proper home cooked meal of the trip, so we're going to eat this pasta and meatballs, and we'll see you in the morning.